Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jan Brothers in Canada. Well, we are back with our new series. This is the second part of our series, which is multiple sources of income in Canada. I'm sure most of you must have heard that, in India, we normally can't do more than one jobs, right? I heard even, I'm not pretty sure, but there was a, there's a law wherein you can't do two jobs, especially in the same field, right? You can be there's a dual employment act or something, right? But in Canada, this is one of the good things that you can work for multiple companies, you can work in multiple fields. Of course, not if not into the same industry because they might have their competitors. So there are certain laws as well here, but yes, there are a lot of multiple sources of income which we will be discussing in this video. And I'll be sharing my experience, what all things I did myself or I have heard from others. Okay, so let's go ahead. Right. So coming back to my series, which I started a couple of weeks back. So in my first series, I discussed about what all documents we needed. Right. I'm sure most of you have seen it. If not, please go ahead and see it. It's on my channel. There we discussed how you can apply for PR card, SIM card, driving license, everything you need in your first few days after you land. I'm sure it might help whosoever is planning to land or whosoever might have ran recently. Or if you're already here and you missed some documents, right, you can go back and check it. And now in this video, let's see what all topics we'll be discussing about how you can earn. Okay, so uh, just coming back to my own series, like part one, we already discussed important documents and formalities. This is the part two. We'll be discussing about multiple sources of income. In my next part, we'll be discussing about what all options you have for fitness and health. There are a lot of things which I am doing and other people are doing. So I'll be happy to discuss everything, right? Physically and mentally both. And fourth one, we'll be discussing about what we do on weekends, right? What are the entertainment sources, right? How you can make more connections. What are all activities which I have did in last 6 months. Next, financial benefits and activities. As a permanent resident or as a citizen or as even a resident, a student or a worker, there are a lot of financial benefits and activities. So stay tuned for this series. Lastly, we'll be discussing overall experience. I'm sure once I'll come to the sixth part, I'll have more experience, so I'll keep adding to it. Okay. All right. So let's quickly work on the first, second part, wherein what all things we are going to discuss today. So, I'm going to talk about the full-time job and part-time job. B, whether you want to go for an annual package or hourly package, what are the benefits? Okay. C, do you need to do any local certification? And are there any benefits? D, short-term surviving jobs. Like, what if you don't get your job in your own field? Do you have any other option? Can you work in store, food outlets, or can you work as a security? D, E, food delivery. How you can do, how you can even earn. Let's say you don't get a job in your field, you don't get a job, or you don't want to do any job in stores. Can you do anything else like deliveries? Let's talk about it. And then side business ideas. And lastly, mortgage agent, realtor, or this is a term which I have heard a lot, WFG, which is World Financial Group. So we will be discussing in detail. And to be honest, I'm very open. I'm very open to thoughts. So I try to keep everything, whether I like it or not, because I know there are people who might like it. So that's why I tried to keep everything which I heard here. I'm sure I might have missed a lot of things, so please do make sure you comment and If you want me to discuss anything else, I'll be happy to make another video, or maybe we can just chat in the comment section. Some extra tips which I am going to discuss would be job scams. I mean, I know I heard a lot of things because like especially in the COVID time, there are a lot of scams going on. So we'll be discussing some things about scams and how you can avoid. And lastly, I mean, this is something which I felt people easily get comfortable and satisfied with some short-term jobs and short-term money. So I thought to add this tip. All right, let's move ahead and let's quickly reiterate or recheck what was the objective of this channel and not waste much of the time here. So just to reiterate, this is not an immigration channel. No, I'm not an immigration consultant. So we are just sharing our experience. So that's my brother Rahul. So it's whatever we have experienced here, we are just trying to jot down and share our experiences, like what we are doing, what all things we do over the weekend, what mistakes we did, any tips and tricks which we came across, and so on. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's quickly talk about here full-time jobs and part-time jobs, or maybe annual packages or hourly packages, and importance of local certifications. So this is again my perspective, okay? And I have tried to just share my experience and what all the things which I personally like. So it might be there might be a case that you might have your own perspective. So I'm just sharing my thoughts and experience. So as per my experience, I would suggest to choose one field for a long-term vision. Okay. So for an example, I am an accounting personnel, a credit professional, right? So my field is account receivables. So my long-term vision is I see myself as a credit manager or maybe a director or maybe a VP in credit industry. Okay. So let's say if you are from HR, you might see yourself as a talent manager or maybe a director of recruiting. So all I want to say is choose your own field and make sure you are working on that field for a long-term vision. Okay. Here in Canada, I see two things which are most important if you want to grow in your own field. A, you need to earn the Canadian work experience. B, you need some local certifications. So if you see my second point where I mentioned start gaining work experience related to that field, whether you are in HR, IT, finance, or marketing, or any other field, maybe healthcare, right? So you can choose either a full-time job or maybe multiple part-time jobs. I see a lot of part-time jobs in my field. I'm not sure it could be different as per your own field. Third point is look for some local certifications. Okay. If I talk about my field, credit professional, I found that whenever I was applying for, let's say, account receivable manager, account receivable supervisor, because I have 10 years of experience back in India, I saw a lot of people are asking for CCP designation, which I haven't heard anywhere in India, right? So it's called as Certified Credit Professional. So when I landed here, I was working as a account receivable specialist for 6 months, right? So initially it was good because I had a role in my own field, but after 6 months, I started to realizing that I'm doing something which I was doing back in India 5 years ago, right? So that's why I started researching that what can I do to get back to my managerial role or supervisory role. So that's when I was looking for job descriptions, they were asking for CCP. I mean, that's not mandatory, but if you have a CCP, you will be preferred. And hence I enrolled myself in CCP. It's a long course, okay? But as soon as I started mentioning in my resume or on my LinkedIn profile that I am pursuing CCP, I started getting more calls for a supervisory or a managerial roles. And I got a supervisory position. After 9 months, now I am back to my account receivable supervisor role. So That's the reason, I mean, I always prefer, or I always suggest that whichever field you're working in, start researching, or look for job descriptions for in LinkedIn, Indeed, or Job Bank, or whatever uh, uh, company you refer for applying jobs. You can search, let's say if you are an accountant, you can start maybe for CPA, CFA, right? If you're a teacher, ECE. If you're a HR, then CPHR. Or if you're a banker, there are multiple courses. I just mentioned one, IFIC, right? So do invest your time in certification, okay? Because it really helps. Lastly, annual package. So I am sure most of you have heard that people pay as per hourly package, and there are companies who pay on annual package. So I'm not saying that rigid yourself for only hourly package, right? Or for only annual package, but prefer annual package, because if you have an annual package, you will get more benefits like RRSP. I mean, company will also contribute, and then there are extended benefits like you will get paid for your physiotherapy for certain amount, for massage and etc. And certain jobs will give you pension plans as well, especially in government sector. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, now I'm sure it's not easy to get a role in your own field, so you might have to do a surviving job or other sources. So yes, you have a lot of options to earn money. First, you can work as a cashier, or salesman, or store manager. There are a lot of stores, right? Grocery stores, food outlets, Walmart, superstore, and you can go walk in, talk to the manager, and ask if you have any opening, and just hand over the resume, right? So yes, you can work there as a cashier or anything without any experience as well. They hire freshers as well, right? Second, you can work as a security officer. There are a lot of companies, security companies, who ask for part-time, full-time, or even night shifts. But yes, you might have to do some security certification. C, if you have a driving license, which I mentioned in my first part, then you are also eligible to deliver foods in your car, right? There are a lot of companies called Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, Instacart, etc. And trust me, it pays you more than what you get as a fresher in surviving jobs, which I talked about in the first point. D, if you have an interest, which I don't have it, you can work as a mortgage agent, you can work as a realtor, and you can you of course you need to do some certifications, but there are people who love it. So if you have interest, go for it. Lastly, I am sure people who have some business background or who have some interest, trust me, there are a lot of business opportunities around. So keep hunting for business opportunities. There are people whom you can, join as and work as a partners, right? So if you have interests or resources, go for it. A bonus tip, you can complete a serving it right certification for extra income. For an example, if you're working in a food outlet where they offer drinks, right? Normally, let's say if they're paying you $16 an hour, but if you complete a serving it right certification, you might get paid $1 or $2 or $3 per hour extra, because now you are also eligible to offer drinks, right? And even in delivery foods, if you have a serving it right certification and if you upload it, you will start getting extra orders for drinks, right? So yes, you can complete it and you will get more income. Okay. Well, this is something which I experienced and I heard about it. So there are a lot of job scams going on. So make sure that when you're hunting for a role, don't fall into these scams. There are people who are posting work from home opportunity in Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, wherein they take virtual interviews using chats. Like they give you a set of questionnaires, you answer them, whatever you answer them, they will say, oh, you passed it. And then they send you a fake offer letter, maybe from their Gmail ID or from their domains, a fake domain called maybe @1234.com, which looks very promising, right? And I understand when you come here as a new immigrant and you get an offer, work from home opportunity, it's really promising, but make sure you do your own research. Try to search their organization in Google or in some websites which scans for whether it's a fake or or maybe search for their reviews, right? I'm sure you will get it whether it's a fake or an original one. And secondly, they might send you an electronic check of $500 or $400, and they ask you to purchase your work from home equipment. And banking, how it works in Canada is whenever you e-deposit a check in your bank application, it will show that it's got credited. But if you read the terms and conditions, a e-check is not uh, encashed uh, for next 5 or 6 business days. So although it will increase your balance, but it will remain on hold. It will remain in pending status. So um, generally, I would suggest you, if you get any such check, go to your bank and then deposit it instead of depositing in your own by using the application. Because banks will know whether it's a fake or an original check. And normally, the genuine company don't send you e-check. They send you a check via mail, by post. Okay. So these are some certain steps which you can take to avoid getting into a scam. Okay. And what they do is once you deposit the e-check, you will see your balance has increased. And then they ask you to interact or transfer money to their vendor, which is their own person, let's say $300, and they will send you the work from home equipments like monitors or something, but which they normally don't. And then if you do so, congratulations, you just lost your $300 because your 500 check will get bounced in next for a couple of days, and then your account will get blocked. Then you have to call your bank and reactivate your account. So make sure don't fall for the scams. Search for research, maybe in websites, or maybe talk to your friends who have more experience. Go to your bank, right? Check whether it's a genuine check or not. Don't give out your personal information, especially if you haven't spoken to anyone over the phone or if they haven't sent you an email from their official email IDs. Next uh, is something which I wanted to talk about is do not get comfortable or settle with short-term money. When you work as a surviving job, let's say delivering foods or in outlets, you get more hours, you get more income, but um, that's not a long-term vision, right? Are you getting experience? Yes. I agree that it gives you experience, but can you, I have seen people working in stores, let's say $24, 15 or $16 per hour. And even after 5 years, 10 years, they're still working, let's say $20 per hour. So that's not substantial growth in my vision. So that's why I'm just reiterating the point that make sure you have a long-term plan and you continue working on it. So choose your own field, right? Keep checking your progress that whatever you're doing for earning, are you learning anything out of it, right? And target for one full-time job, which gives you enough money so that you don't have to work more than 8, 9 hours a day in 5 days a week. So, my main or one of the main reasons I moved to Canada is work-life balance. So if you are working for 10 or 12 hours a day and even on the weekends, that's not, I think, I came for in Canada. I'm not sure about whosoever is watching this video, what are your vision? But uh, for me, if I'm working like 12 hours a day and even on weekends, that's not the reason I came here, right? So that's what I'm recommending, that make sure you have a long-term vision and search for one full-time job which gives you enough money and you're working only for 8 to 9 hours a day and you are enjoying your rest of the hours with your family, friends, or your own, and enjoying over the weekend as well. And keep learning and keep growing. If I missed anything, please do make sure you mention it in the comments. Any suggestions, anything which you found in this video, please mention it in the comment section. If you like this video, please subscribe the channel, share it with your friends who are planning to come to Canada or who are already in Canada, which can help them. Yeah. And then that's all for today. Jai Jinendra. Hit the like button and hit the bell icon if you like this video. Suggest me any topic. I'm sure I'm going to complete this series in next couple of weeks, one by one. And if you have any other topic in your mind, suggest me in the comment section and I'll try to make a video on it, or maybe I'll try to answer it in the comment sections. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.